Clean the residue from these 1-quart containers with some warm, soapy water, inside and out. I'm using a very sharp utility knife here, cutting off the folded top of the container and then also the bottom of the container. In addition to soap and water, I use alcohol in a spray bottle to add an additional cleaning on the outside surface of the container. I do this to prepare the outside for the spray paint that I will be putting on these containers. Now that the paint has dried on the outside of this carton, I will flatten it and cut it into 1-inch strips. My mat comes in very handy here because the increments are already imprinted on the cutting surface. I'm going to make these 1 inch wide. And I'm going to use a utility knife on my cutting mat. And I'm going to cut out as many as I can get. I think that'll be somewhere around 7. I'm going to then mark a 3/4 inch mark from this bend, the bend in the carton. Just a little mark that I can see to guide me. I'll do that with this one also. 3/4 inch. At that mark, I'm going to cut into the carton, the strip that I've made, halfway. A little bit more doesn't hurt. Makes it easier to join these together, actually. And there we go. So now I have to assemble these together. I'm going to link them at the cuts. Now this will be a petal of our poinsettia. I have another one already done here, and they'll be joined to make a flower. These joints, once the flower is all together and you like the way it looks, can be fortified with a little dab of hot glue or PVA glue. Using hot glue, I will now glue and assemble all of these segments into the shape. I'm cutting another 1-inch strip. Now the bend in this carton is where I am measuring from there to the edge. And I measure that to be 2 3/4 inches. I want to make a cut halfway between here and here. That will be 1 3/8 inch, half of that distance. And I'm only going to cut again halfway through. 1 1 3/8 puts me at halfway. Now I'm going to do that on all 4 sides. Cutting in halfway, maybe just a little more than halfway. I can use that same cut to do the other sides. Halfway. This will be the center of the flower. I will also make the cuts on all 4 corners. 1 2 3 4. So there are 8 cuts on this piece. Again, only halfway through the width of this strip. Now, I will be linking it to the center of my flower. And you'll work at this a little bit. You'll get it. It will work. Now that I have the center of my flower where I want it, I'm going to use some hot glue to reinforce the joints and stabilize the whole form. Doesn't take much, just a little dab. I enjoyed designing and creating this decoration. I hope this project inspires you to make homemade decorations for the holiday from recyclables. Okay, let's kick up that poinsettia design and add an extra dimension to it. I have taken the 1-inch strips after having made the poinsettia flower and glued another petal in to give it more depth. So this creates another look. I simply put in the glue, drop this down in, meeting point to point here and towards the center, and let that glue cool down and adhere. I could do just every other petal, or I can do every petal. It's fun to create these designs. Here is the original poinsettia with additional petals added to it. I'll hang this from some very thin green satin ribbon, and it'll make a lovely decoration in my home. Happy holiday!